morning. My name is Dr. Dawn Nilsson, and I'm the Director of the Programs in Occupational Therapy. And on behalf of our faculty and administrative staff, I would like to welcome all of you to the commencement ceremony in honor of the class of 2023. Let's give them a well-deserved round of applause. Today we are recognizing the achievements of both our entry-level master's students and our post-professional doctoral students. So certainly we have a lot to celebrate today. Our master's students arrived at our doorsteps approximately 21 months ago with a wealth of knowledge from their undergraduate studies. 24 different majors spanning the humanities, basic and social sciences, education, and the performing arts, each with their own rich personal narrative. The faculty asked them to bring all of what they learned and all of who they were into the classroom. And they challenged them to reflect on their previously held knowledge, to build on their past experiences, and to embrace new ways of knowing and doing in order to transform from students into clinicians who now see the world through an occupational therapy lens. They are smart, insightful, reflective, resourceful, creative, enthusiastic, optimistic, and they have a passion for advocacy. In short, they have everything they need to help their clients live life to the fullest. I would also like to note that as we challenged them, they in turn challenged us to reflect on our ways of knowing and doing. And it's because of them that we are transforming the way we educate in some very important ways. And for that, we are very grateful. We are also graduating 8 incredibly talented doctoral students today. These practicing occupational therapists served their clients by day and studied by night. The research conducted by these students adds to our profession's growing body of knowledge and will change the way we think about and engage in clinical and community-based practice. We know they are going to continue to make very important contributions to our profession in the future. We'll be speaking a bit more about their work a little bit later in the ceremony. Congratulations to all of our graduates. To officially begin our celebration, we have one of our first honored guests that has greetings for you. Dr. Joel Stein, Simon Baruch Professor of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, and the Chair of the Department of Rehabilitation and Regenerative Medicine. Welcome, Dr. Stein.
Thank you. It is truly my pleasure to welcome the graduates, their friends and family, and our faculty to this very special occasion. Not only are our graduates finishing a long course of education, they are joining the community of healthcare professionals with a precious mission to improve the health of our patients. I want to extend a special congratulations to the parents of today's graduates who have looked forward to this day for a very long time. We are so grateful to be together in person to celebrate this milestone with you. Graduates, as you head into practice, it is imperative to remember that medicine and science are forever changing, often resulting in discoveries that may actually invalidate some of the things you worked so hard to learn here at Columbia. Or as Mark Twain put it more eloquently, it ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. Keep an open mind, maintain a healthy skepticism, and continue to learn throughout your careers. In keeping with the top issues of the day, I asked ChatGPT to comment on the possibility that it might one day take over your job. So ChatGPT responded as follows, and I apologize, I can't do a good robotic voice imitation, so you'll have to imagine that. So ChatGPT said, "As impressive as my abilities may be, there are some things even I can't do. For example, while I can provide you with information and answer your questions, I cannot replace the hands-on care and expertise of an occupational therapist. I cannot guide you through therapeutic activities or help you develop fine motor skills. and I cannot provide the human connection that is so important to the healing process. So graduates, as you embark on your careers as occupational therapists, know that your knowledge, skills, and compassionate care will always be in demand, and that you are an irreplaceable part of the healthcare team. So as a human, I have to say, that's really quite a relief to hear that. And I wholeheartedly agree with ChatGPT. You are irreplaceable. There is no computer, no technology that will take the place of what you can provide for your clients and patients in person, hands-on. I am confident that as you begin your professional careers, you will maintain your focus on providing care to our patients and provide the personal touch that should be the hallmark of 21st century healthcare. We are grateful to have played a role in preparing you for this mission. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Stein. I would now like to introduce our esteemed faculty and ask them to take their seats on the stage. Dr. Phyllis Simon. Dr. Glenn Gillen. Dr. Tyra Banks. Dr. Pat Creason. Dr. Julia Guzman. Dr. Danielle Mahoney. Dr. Daniel Geller. Dr. Catherine Dimitropoulou. Dr. Anna Norwig. Dr. Leslie Kane. Professor Jeff Tomlinson. Dr. Rochelle Mendoza. And Dr. Razan Hamed. The programs in occupational therapy are completely reliant on our stellar administrative staff who guide our students from the admissions process to professional certification and licensure. I would like to ask them to stand when I call their names. Gina Frassetto, Eileen Lloyd, Susanna Mayas, and Ben Koch. Thank you for all that you do. Finally, I would like to ask the following retired faculty to stand. First, our former program director, Professor Emeritus Dr. Janet Falk-Kessler. Our former academic fieldwork coordinator, Pamela Miller. And former faculty members, Dr. Patricia Miller and Dr. Emily Raphael Greenfield. I would now like to ask all of our adjunct faculty, lab instructors, fieldwork coordinators, and alumni that have joined us today to stand for a quick round of applause. Thank you all for joining our celebration. I would now like to introduce Lena Eisenstein, one of our Student Association co-presidents, who will introduce our commencement speaker, the former president of the American Occupational Therapy Association, Dr. Wendy Hildebrand. Lena?
Dr. Hildenbrand is a program director and an associate professor in the Occupational Therapy Education Department at the University of St. Mary in Leavenworth, Kansas. She earned her Bachelor of Science in Occupational Therapy in 1989, the Master of Public Health in 2002, and her Doctor of Philosophy in Public Administration in 2016, all from the University of Kansas. Dr. Hildenbrand's practice and professional experience includes work in mental health, school-based practice, population and community health, and teaching in academia. Professional expertise includes leadership, policy development and implementation, advocacy, and building bridges between policy and practice. Her dissertation research examined the experience of role conflict in frontline occupational therapy professionals when implementing policies, such as productivity requirements, and working to maintain professional values, such as client-centered care. As co-faculty and investigator with the KU Medical Center Community Health Project for 15 years, Dr. Hildenbrand demonstrated her commitment to serving individuals and populations in community contexts. Highlighting Dr. Hildenbrand's professional service and leadership, she served nationally as president of the American Occupational Therapy Association from 2019 to 2022, as director on the AOTA Board of Directors from 2014 to 2017, on various board committee appointments, and elected positions as the Speaker of the AOTA Representative Assembly and Vice Chair for AOTA's Committee of State Association Presidents. Dr. Hildenbrand's professional roots are grounded in the Kansas Occupational Therapy Association, where her service as KOTA president and other positions provide evidence of committed servant leadership. Wendy prioritizes family and friends, faith and fun, while striving to enjoy balance in a sometimes hectic personal and professional life. You'll find her near anything water, spectator sports, live music, books, and good food, living and loving life to its fullest. I'd like to welcome Dr. Wendy Hildenbrand to the stage.
Well, hello. This is a fun room to be a part of today. I want to start by getting myself situated here, if that's okay with you, so that I don't lose where I'm at or what I'm trying to say. I have 20 minutes. That's hard for me. So I'll just own that right up front, okay? This is an honor to be with you. So hello, Columbia University. How are you? Yeah? Okay, that's good. If I have to fly all the way from Kansas to come here and be with you and have that wonderful privilege of speaking with you this morning, then I want you to be with me, okay? And so I'm putting that invitation forward. So thank you so much. I am excited to be here and to celebrate this major milestone in your journey, either to become an occupational therapist or for our post-professionals in the room, to be an even better occupational therapist. So congratulations to you all. I'm also honored to share the stage with some very esteemed faculty here at Columbia University. There's people here that I've worked with, people that I've traveled with, people that I've taken fun pictures with, all that kind of stuff with Dr. Preeson, Dr. Ahmed, and although he doesn't know it, Dr. Glenn Gillen was instrumental in putting a little fire into a presidential campaign that I was a part of. You knew that, right? Hello. Okay, I'm just saying. So I'm giving him an opportunity to own that because it was amazing. And since I'm going to talk to you a little bit about acting with urgency, I just wanted to just publicly thank Dr. Gillen for that prompt to urgency. So I'm sure he's done that with you guys a time or two, right? Said, get to it. Let me hear what's on your mind. So, I am thrilled to be here. Students, you've learned from some of the best in our profession. I mean, even think about Jeff up there. You can't get past advocacy and not think about him. So you guys have had an opportunity to learn and to do front and center very well. That will serve you moving forward. When I was asked to share a keynote address today, I had to pause and think about what would be a meaningful message that could encourage you to focus forward and encourage action, okay? I started to reflect on my recent term serving as AOTA president and my presidential addresses during the most interesting period of time. A time shaped by incivility in professional discourse about entry-level degree mandates or not. A time impacted by a global COVID-19 pandemic. Lots of loss, lots of lessons learned, all of that you know very well, being here in New York. And it was also a time calling for justice and change in systemic racism following the murder of George Floyd. That was real during my presidency as well. I must admit that this was not exactly how I imagined my presidency playing out. Those were surprises, right? Not necessarily in the most welcome of ways, but it did. So you see, I knew in advance that we had some work to do. Things had been bumpy for a while, but I was ready for that work. So when I shared my 2019 presidential address in New Orleans, my inaugural, I invited occupational therapy professionals and students to embrace civility, to take great care in your relationships, to shore up your resilience, and to critically examine and act to elevate our relevance as a profession. After a 2-year COVID-dictated conference hiatus and vocal calls for change inside and outside of occupational therapy, my 2022 farewell presidential address, that 2 years took me out, right? In San Antonio, challenged those that were listening that day to heed a last call to act with true urgency. Urgency for our profession and for those we serve. As you approach your final level 2 fieldwork, as you step into this post-professional world, I want you to maybe hear a couple of my thoughts. I hope you're challenged by it just a little bit, and I hope you take it with you in this next phase of your professional life with true urgency. So when I say urgency, are there particular images or circumstances that come to mind for you? Okay. And I'm talking to students, but boy, I hope the rest of you are hearing too, because we're all in this together, right? Okay. Perhaps you think about a fast approaching assignment due date. Maybe. Maybe you're moving quickly to the ladies' room. That sounds like urgency, doesn't it? Are you running to catch a plane? Maybe you're hearing last call at your favorite establishment and you don't want to miss out. Maybe. While these images might suggest urgency to some, let's categorize these life situations as maybe urgent or emergency. But emergency is different than urgency. Urgency differs from urgent and important. And I want to talk for a minute about urgent and important as separate and distinct from urgency. Okay? Former U.S. President Dwight Eisenhower, Kansas guy, served as United States Army General, Allied Forces Supreme Commander during World War II, and NATO's first Supreme Commander, and held big positions, which required timely, tough, and decisive action continuously. There was no day off, right? This meant making choices by sorting tasks and activities for daily attention and for long-term prioritization. What mattered, right? What was the big thing? He considered 2 distinct levels of care to tasks, those activities that are important and those that are urgent. Important activities, we all have those, right? Important activities are those that have an outcome that leads us toward personal or professional goal attainment. Okay, so important activities, you can think of some, right? Urgent activities, those that are often important as they're associated with reaching specific goals, but they demand more immediate attention. Need you to act due to the consequences of not dealing with them, due to the consequences of inaction. So suffice it to say, we all have activities that are urgent and important, right? Urgent and important, some of which we can't predict or avoid, and others that have been left to the last minute. Any procrastinators in the room? Okay. Avoidable, but still urgent, right? Then there are activities that are just distracting rather than urgent or important. These are activities that you can and probably should ignore. They don't really need to be on your list, okay? Couple points though, just urgency does not equal emergency. I'm talking about urgency here, okay? And also, there is no trophy for busy. Busy is not necessarily urgency, okay? So it's easy to confuse urgent and important acts with true urgency. It's also easy to overlook complacency as a barrier to urgency. I want to talk about that for just a minute. The presence of complacency cannot be denied. The power of complacency cannot be understated, and the pervasive nature of complacency cannot be ignored. I'm afraid it's everywhere, even in our profession. So just so we're all clear here, complacency is a feeling of contentment and self-satisfaction, which differs from apathy. Okay? I know people on this stage for a long time. We've had different points in time in conversation where we've talked about apathy, like, oh my goodness, there's so much apathy. Apathy's about we don't really care. Complacency is about I'm good where I'm at. I'm satisfied. No need for change. That's different than apathy. Okay? Complacency is a feeling as much as it is a thought or state of mind. It is self-focused, as it is centered in what a person feels they need to do, or maybe what they don't need or want to do. Many times people can see that something is wrong, inadequate, problematic, yet they're not compelled to change. They're not compelled to change their thinking. They're not compelled to change their actions. That is complacency. So when true urgency meets complacency, people get nervous. Okay? It can be unsettling and even threatening to those who have been affirmed or rewarded by the status quo. This can present an inflexible kind of thinking in a sense that there is no need to fix what isn't broken or those things that have worked for years. Perspective's funny in that, isn't it? Got to think about it. Keep in mind, anybody can be complacent, and most people do not recognize complacency in themselves. In these times of accelerated change, complacency can be a barrier to progress or change. It can even be destructive if it's not acknowledged and addressed. Okay? So on the other side of this complacency thing is this thing called false urgency. While complacency is kind of sleepy, kind of slow, because we're all good, right? False urgency is full of energy and frenetic activity. Lots going on, so it would seem. When compared to the satisfied look, that satisfied platform of complacency, people leading with false urgency can be driven by anxiety or anger sometimes, and the need to do something. Not only do they not believe that all is well, but they also press others to believe that there's trouble brewing as well. That anger and anxiety, they come from different places. Sometimes anger's about, feeling like things haven't gone as you planned, as you hoped. Anxiety might be about feeling left out or not connected. It can come from a lot of places. A worried mind, though, which is what happens when we get angry, when we get anxious, a worried mind racing around looking for safe retreat will never act with the true sense of urgency. Rather, it might act with this false urgency, this frantic activity. So urgency then, I'm here for it, okay? True urgency. It's born out of authentic feelings about the need for action now, with intention for outcomes and energy for the sustained commitment required to maintain movement. Okay? Lots of words in that. Starts with feelings, but it also talks about energy. It talks about sustained commitment, right? Growth, change, that's what it is. So the authentic feelings, that is a change element that lives in your heart, in the heart of an occupational therapist, an occupational therapy assistant, an occupational therapy student. It lives here, not just in the spaces of your mind. There's a lot of things that buzz in my head in a day. They don't all prompt urgency. But boy, when they're here, it's go time. There is urgency. And I want you to think about that. Where does our profession live for you? By definition, urgency directs us to critical issues or events that are of pressing importance and require action to assure progress now, not later. Urgency is driven by determination to move and win, rather than anxiety about losing. Urgency is not hurried. It sounds like it, but it's not. Okay? Hurrying comes from a sense of panic. Rather than frenetic activity, people with a real sense of urgency see the opportunities and problems. Because guess what? There's opportunities and problems. Definitely. They scan the environment inside and outside for information and alternatives. They search for and contribute to solutions rather than create roadblocks. They innovate and create instead of stagnating and waiting. They activate in the face of continuous, not episodic change. Okay? Feeling the press, sense of urgency, they move. Now, indeed, a real sense of urgency is invaluable in a world that is not standing still. Have you noticed? Don't blink, right? In an increasingly fast-moving and competitive world, lacking urgency is a problem with consequences for our profession. Complacency and false urgency do not and will not serve us well. They're not going to serve you well. Not the profession of occupational therapy, not AOTA as an organization, not you as the next generation of stud occupational therapists, right? Or the people, populations, and communities that we serve. They need more from us. They need us to step up and increase our sense of true urgency to advance our profession and meet society's occupational needs. That doesn't mean it happens fast enough, though. Urgent patience is the thing we have to consider sometime. Urgency doesn't mean panic or creating too much stress for other people or taking a faster approach to what you get done. It aligns more with false urgency than true urgency. So the desire or need for action now makes it easy to forget that sometimes big changes that are meaningful and sustainable, okay, that matter and live, meaningful and sustainable, sometimes those changes do require time. Often an extended time frame doesn't seem fast enough for people. Or it can sometimes even suggest to folks that maybe there's waning commitment. That's not necessarily the case. Sometimes we just need to exercise urgent patience. That means acting each day with a sense of urgency and having a realistic view of time. It means staying committed to the everyday work to progress toward goals. You guys got those, right? Big goals, big, hairy, audacious goals, right? Okay. It means acknowledging the complexity of an issue or change need and owning the necessary drive, commitment, and focus to achieve the goals. Acting each day, when I say that, does that make you tired? That can be a little overwhelming to think about acting each day. It's a big ask. But golly, it's so critical, right? Passion and patience behind sustained work toward meaningful change drives a sense of true urgency. That's what I'm asking you for. Okay? So now that we're clear about what urgency is and is not, or at least in my head, right? You still with me? Is that yes? Okay, just checking. All righty. The big question remains, how do we go about increasing true urgency? What does that require of us? What does that require of you? Okay? 4 things I want to touch on. Bringing the outside in, behave with urgency every day, find opportunities in crises, and deal with the no-nos. Okay? So we're going to talk about that for a short minute. Bringing the outside in, an inwardly focused organization, or in this case, our occupational therapy profession, can miss new opportunities and can miss oncoming hazards, okay? Presenting from external market forces, from imposing power or regulatory changes, things we see coming, things that we don't, and societal forces. Particularly when organizations and professions are blessed with success, They tend to rely on internal structures or processes that worked at that time, sometimes even people. And they look outside less for partnerships, for growth and sustainability. We talk a lot to ourselves, I'm afraid. There's a lot of really smart people outside of occupational therapy. Take a look around, okay? They'd be worth the conversation. They'd be worth the partnership. They'd be worth that look outside. This limited scan turns to missed opportunities, and it also reduces a sense of urgency. But it goes a long way at shoring up a very stable, complacent, and unchanging reality. When it all looks good inside, not doing much, are we? We're happy there until we figure out we forgot to look around. Behave with urgency every day. Okay, so talked about looking outside, not just inside. Behave with urgency every day. We have to stay vigilant. The past really does not tell us a whole lot about the future. Okay, past success doesn't always fit now. It's got to look different. So we have to have that intention to behave in a way daily that draws on urgency. The norm seems to be unurgent behavior, which translates into most people being too busy to act with urgency, right? The fatigue that comes with unurgent, busy behavior, it undermines urgency. How many to-do lists do you have where you spend half your morning consolidating your to-do lists? That's a lot going on, but not getting much done, right? So it's important to express urgency in words and reinforce your words by your behavior. Words and behavior have to match up. Not always easy, but they have to match up. We must be visibly urgent, outwardly urgent, look alert, be aware, engage, and take action. Many times, this also looks like you are going opposite the flow. You know, not everybody acts urgent in the same way. Find opportunities in crisis. You know, I could talk about that a long time, but I won't. Have we found opportunities in crisis? This last 2-3 years has been a whole lot of opportunity. Okay? It came in a crisis package. It came in multiple crisis packages. But opportunity has been there. Open your eyes. It's not done. There's still opportunity out there, right? It still looks like crisis. That's where you're going to find your fuel for true urgency. And in dealing with the no-nos, you can imagine during a few years as AOTA president, I ran into a few no-nos, okay? And I'm not talking about words, I'm talking about people, okay? Deal with it. No-nos are skilled urgency killers. That's something to think about. No-nos are skilled urgency killers, quick to derail a process or progress to make change. They'll do it in a hurry, okay? They claim the current situation is fine. Don't you love it? How you doing? Fine, okay? They think everything's fine. Problems are minimal, if non-existent, perhaps, in their understanding. Or, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to any of my research friends in the room, but these also might be people that want more data or facts before moving forward, because we have to have it all, which is not necessarily true. Not necessarily true. Oh, I might have just clocked myself out. Just 1 minute. Almost there. Okay? So, I want to bring them to your attention because they're all around you. You might be sitting with somebody now and say, yep, that's the no-no. Don't call them out. This is not the room for that. Okay? But this is very different than being skeptical. It's okay to be skeptical. You gotta ask questions, don't you? Skeptics have concerns. They ask questions. They want to be part of advancing the discussion, no. They want to be a part of decisions, and they want to be a part of productive, not destructive action. Okay? So think about that. While there's much to learn from no, there is much greater opportunity in true urgency. okay? So all of this to drive home a message to you. Establishing and elevating a true sense of urgency in our education, our practice, our research, our relationships with each other, in our collective relevance is critical to our profession. Class of 2023, that's you all, right? Light blue, funny hats, right? Okay, we're counting on you. And we're calling you in, not out, calling you in to live out your occupational therapy calling with true urgency. You represent the current youthquake, shaking up our society by your questions, by your advocacy, and your influence. That's a thing. That's powerful, isn't it? You feel strong? Yes. Just so we're all clear, youthquake is defined as a significant cultural, political, or societal change arising from the actions or influences of young people. This is not a new thing. Rather, youthquake was originally coined in the 60s. Any 1960s people in here? Oh, I got to look behind me for that one, don't I? Okay. It was coined during the 1960s when talking about a cultural movement that involved music, pop culture, fashion, and societal norms. The backdrop for this cultural movement was notable. A little thing called Woodstock, big party, right? Assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy, protests against the Vietnam War, and marches or lunch counter sit-ins for civil rights. That was the 60s. It was not necessarily a peaceful time. It was a time of societal upheaval and a call for action. There was a sense of urgency. So if we go now, and fast forward 50, 60 years, this youthquake thing, it became an official word of the year in 2017, suggesting a resurgence of influential actions by young people. That's you. Thanks to globalization and social media, you are virtually connected, you stay connected, and you regard yourself as informed global citizens. Human rights, the environment, and cultural diversity are big themes for you, and technology is your tool for organizing, activating, and voicing feelings related to these themes. It's not exactly a peaceful time for your generation either. A lot happening as well. So with that, the youth of 1960s were not complacent. They had a sense of urgency, but students, soon to be OTs, soon to be post-professional doctorates, today's youthquake, you are not complacent either. I feel your sense of urgency, and I'm counting on you to be difference makers. So I'd like to close with this quote from Martin Luther King Jr. He says, "We are faced with the fact that tomorrow is today. We are confronted with the fierce urgency of now. And in this unfolding conundrum of life and history, there is such a thing as being too late. This is not the time for apathy or complacency. This is the time for vigorous and positive action." Don't you love that? I do. What that tells me is it is your time. It's my time too, but like I said, I'm counting on you to help a girl out. It is your time, our time, to be part of positive action. If the scales and energy weigh more heavily on the side of complacency than weighs on a sense of urgency, the path for change becomes very difficult and very long. I am hopeful that we can face this fact that tomorrow is today by increasing our collective sense of urgency and hearing and responding to the call to action. Oh, thank you for your time and your attention. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Hildebrand, for that inspiring message. We have a small token of our appreciation for you. CUOT has a tradition of recognizing individuals outside of our department that have made unique contributions to our programs. I would like to ask Dr. Phyllis Simon to the podium to present our first award.
Good morning and congratulations to everybody. I am honored and humbled to present this award that was named in honor of my predecessor, my colleague, my mentor, and dear friend, Pamela Miller, who served as Columbia's academic fieldwork coordinator for over 37 years, a feat to be very... Fieldwork education is a vital part of the curriculum here at Columbia. It's here where education comes alive and is put into action. Supervision and mentorship students receive from clinical educators prepares them for their future careers. Being able to facilitate and promote learning and make an impact on a student's clinical growth is a unique skill and talent. This award honors someone who has been involved in CUOT's clinical education program for well over 20 years. She has served as a clinical supervisor for both Level 1 and Level 2 students in community-based settings, performed fieldwork site visits on an annual basis for both our behavioral health and older adult programs, and has served as a fieldwork seminar leader for our behavioral health program. Having touched students at all levels of their clinical training, her insights, perspectives, and supervision has impacted hundreds of students over the years. She is supportive and has been a true collaborator with our program. For her years of service and commitment to Columbia OT's Fieldwork program, amongst the many other things that she does, it's my honor to present the 2023 Pamela Miller Supervisor of the Year Award to Julie Kern.
Our Friends of Occupational Therapy Award is presented to a person or persons who contributed dearly to our program but are not trained as an OT. I would like to ask Dr. Glenn Gillen to the podium to present the award.
Good morning, everybody, and congratulations to the class of 2023. This award is not given out annually. It's only given out when it's appropriate. Friend of OT, as we just stated, is not an occupational therapist, but this particular person knows occupational therapy very well. There's more. He's married to an occupational therapist. There's more. He's married to an occupational therapist on our faculty. There's more. He's married to Dr. Dan Geller. With the generosity of his charitable fund, he enabled us to have our own occupational therapy lab the first time around. And when it came time to refurbish the second time around, he stepped up to the plate again. So think about all your AV equipment, your new comfortable chairs, your charging stations, the ADL vignettes, etc. This year's Friend of Occupational Therapy is Mr. Dave Pistachio. Of course. Congratulations.
I would like to ask Dr. Tyra Banks to the podium to present the Distinguished Alumna Award.
It is my honor to present the Distinguished Alumni Award to Julie Lowy, a graduate of the class of 1989. Julie started her career at Payne Whitney in behavioral health and used her talents in behavioral health to build a community-based practice for older adults. Julie is a pioneer in community mental health practice and fieldwork education. As the OT world still considers using our unique skills and talents to help those in the community, an emerging area of practice, Julie has always dedicated her practice committed to the people in the community and has served on several boards of community organizations. When CUOT began to develop innovative community-based mental health fieldwork over 25 years ago, it was Julie's foresight and collaborative leadership that began our student programs at St. Joseph Day Program for Older Adults. Since the beginning, she has helped this program at CUOT develop and connect with community-based practices that we now have long-standing clinical education programs. Julie continues to make significant contributions to fieldwork as she supervised Level 2 fieldwork students at Mount Sinai and Pibley residential programs and has been part of our fieldwork site visit team for Level 1 fieldwork experiences in both older adults and behavioral health courses, sharing her expertise, program development insights, and supervisory skills to pour into our students. Over the years, she's made a huge impact and has taught and guided many alumni in their journey transitioning from student to practitioner. And if that wasn't enough, she's an integral member of the CUOT Alumni Council and has demonstrated time after time her dedication and love for this program. The programs in occupational therapy recognized Julie's service, occupational therapy practice, scholarship of teaching and learning, and commitment to improving the lives of individuals, groups, and populations in our field. Congratulations, Julie, on receiving the 2023 Distinguished Alumni Award.
Although you are graduating, you are always going to be part of the CUOT family. You will become alumni. I would like to ask Julie Kern, a member of the class of '86 and our newly minted Fieldwork Supervisor of the Year, to the podium to speak on behalf of CUOT alumni.
Good morning, and congratulations to all of you. I am so honored to be representing the Columbia OT Alumni Council today. We all have our own unique story of how we came to the OT programs here at Columbia. My story began when I was in high school, and my great aunt, Grace Levinson, who is also an alum, would tell me of her experiences working as an OT with servicemen who were injured or traumatized during World War II. One of those soldiers was my great-uncle George, but how they ended up married is a much longer tale. Her stories planted a seed that led me to the library to research what exactly occupational therapy was, which led me to volunteer in different OT settings and then led me to Columbia. I entered the master's program wanting to be a hand OT, and I left the program as a mental health OT, but that's also a longer story. I have spoken about my great Aunt Grace many times, and I think about her often. What bravery it must have taken to be a young person fresh out of this program, working with soldiers during wartime. I wish she were still here today. One of the many questions I would ask is how she was so courageous. The word courage is derived from Old French, and it's related to the word for heart. And my great Aunt Grace had that in abundance, as do all of you. Heart and courage to make a difference, to see others for their potential, to make a connection, to embrace and build on each person's uniqueness that enriches us as a community. In this time when so many want to divide and separate us, this may be the most radical daily act of courage we can perform. Now, you all have an unbreakable connection to each other, a bond formed by all of your experiences together. My time at Columbia created an enduring connection with classmates who were creative and determined and open-hearted, and those friendships are still flourishing today. I even got a relative I didn't know I had when my classmate, Emily Raphael Greenfield, and I discovered that we were distant cousins. I had excellent professors who encouraged and motivated me to be the best OT I could be, and I began an amazing career that gave me strengths and skills that I am able to use every day in every aspect of my life. It may have been unfathomable to you a few short years ago, but soon you too will be joining this dynamic, active, and respected group of Columbia OT alumni. We hope that you will stay in touch wherever your journey takes you. Many of my classmates received vital scholarship aid, and that is still the case today. And I hope that you will consider that assistance and its impact upon you and your friends and classmates, and pay it forward in any way you can. So congratulations again on your enormous achievement, and I wish you courage and a full and open heart as you embark on your own amazing careers.
Thank you, Julie. Each graduating class selects a member of their cohort to present the student address. I would like to ask our SOTA co-president, Allison Tong, to the podium to introduce our class speaker.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be presenting our class speaker. Today's speaker was chosen by the class because she truly exemplifies the meaning of strength and resilience. She has taught us so much about the importance of constantly learning, standing up for the people you love, and what it means to truly care about others and ourselves. I am so proud to announce and introduce Corey Lynn Campbell.
Thank you, Allie. I'm already crying. Thank you, Allie. Thank you, friends, family, and faculty for being here to support and celebrate our class today. It is an honor to have been chosen to give this address, and it has truly been an honor to share this journey with all of you, my amazing classmates. Friends and family who are here, I'm sure you know how very special all of these students are. We are so smart and hardworking. Our professors are so smart and hardworking. And we have access to a plethora of resources provided by people who are so smart and hardworking. We have been set up for success. But academics is not the main thing that has prepared us. Remember, our orientation was remote because of Hurricane Ida? We started the program with mandatory masking so we couldn't see each other's faces. All of our first semester finals were remote with that weird, camera thing that we had to do. And we started our second semester with all of our classes remote. We had to check in every day to report our symptom status. We also were encouraged to limit social gatherings, so we didn't have the same types of opportunities to bond as do most cohorts beginning their program. It was stressful and weird. And yet, we managed to bond, support each other, and grow together. When I introduced myself to the cohort on our Facebook page, remember we had a Facebook page? I mentioned that I was probably old enough to be a parent to any of you, which remains literally true. I entered the program feeling like an outsider and afraid of not being accepted by my peers. I imagine I wasn't the only one who felt that way entering the program. Our class is diverse. We come from different countries, different backgrounds, and have had different life experiences. And it's my personal opinion that our diversity contributed substantially to our educational experience. I'm just gonna add that I don't fit Youthquake, but I really hope that I can still be influential. Okay, that said, and I don't know where my family is sitting, but if anybody can, okay, thank you. Thank you, I just need to know where you are. Okay. That said, I'd like to recognize the strides that our cohort has made in collaboration with faculty and staff regarding diversity, equity, and inclusion. We were only the second Columbia MSOT cohort to have a COTAD chapter. Thank you, Jen, Ayelet, and Asmina for leading this important effort to promote justice, equity, inclusion, and anti-bias within the occupational therapy profession. Our COTAD chapter helped to implement an anonymous reporting system for bias experienced in the classroom. Our cohort participated in establishing a high school outreach program and admissions application support for underrepresented students. We were also the first class to have a student advisory board, which was essential to the most recent faculty implemented DEI agenda throughout the curriculum. We have been and will continue to be an important cog in the wheel promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion in OT. I want to thank our student OTA board for all of the hard work they put in to enhance our experience at Columbia. And I can confidently say that I did the least amount of work. If you want an easy job on a board, volunteer for treasurer. There were too many students who dedicated their time and energy on the board to name everyone. But I will give a specific shout out to Lena and Allie, who were tremendous leaders and liaisons on multiple fronts. I'd like to recognize faculty and staff for your wonderful support, and in my case, often massive amounts of patience. And I'm gonna miss these guys, but I'm also gonna miss all of you. I can't even say. But I want to particularly mention Dr. Nilsson, who took on the role of director of the program during our time here. Also, Dr. Hamed, who was recently elected to the AOTA Board of Directors. Lastly, I'd like to recognize the Cry Couch. For those of you who don't know, there's a small couch located outside the back of the OT lab, which many of us have spent time on while crying. It's never been clear to me why that was the go-to cry spot, but it was. I certainly spent time there on more than one occasion, and I've witnessed many others crying there. Y'all all know this is a real thing, y'all. But I never once saw anyone alone. Most times there were multiple peers surrounding, supporting, and comforting the person who was experiencing whatever they were experiencing. We are an empathic group. As I said before, we're smart. And as other speakers have said, we're smart. But that's not why we chose or were accepted to this program. We were led to OT because we are empathic caretakers by nature. To add, an aside, some of us were actually particularly attracted to this program because of its emphasis on mental health and trauma-informed care. But to address that in depth, it would take me beyond my 5-minute time limit. So we've supported each other through the incredibly stressful experience of grad school, during a pandemic, and with each of our individual personal struggles along the way. And we've almost made it to the other side. I've been touched by many of you on this journey. My kids hate it when I use the word journey. Sorry, kids. I'm certain that none of you are aware of how much you've touched me. Because you simply did what you do, and you'll do the same for your clients. Please remember, though, that caring for others can be a burden. Care for your clients, care for your colleagues, but most importantly, care for yourselves. Figure out what your personal form of self-care entails and implement it. Because we can only be successful practitioners if we keep ourselves healthy. I'm not done, though. We are well prepared for practice, even before our second fieldwork twos. I'd like to tell you all not to be scared or anxious about the next step, but I am personally terrified. Still, we've got this. As we move forward, we will engage in OT in so many ways and on so many levels, differently and diversely, and will make an immeasurable difference in people's lives throughout our careers. Even my short upcoming career. You've all already made an immeasurable difference in my life, and I hope for all of us that this cohort is a place we can return to and draw on. Congratulations, class of 2023. We did it!
Thank you, Corey Lynn. Lena, can I ask you to join Allie on the stage? I believe you both have something to present to the class.
Wow, thank you so much, Corylyn, for that. I know we're all feeling a lot of feels right now. It's traditional for the cohort to leave Columbia OT program with a gift. Sometimes that's a donation, sometimes it's something more creative, and we decided to go the creative route. Earlier, Dr. Gillen spoke about some new outfitting to our OT lab. If you visit there now, you'll see a back area that has a hospital bed, And I think we're getting some more equipment set up for the cohorts after us. And so we wanted to leave something that would be really useful and really aid in gaining more clinical practice and application. So we have created, with the help of Monica Manfredonia's father, if you're here, thank you so much for your help, reality orientation boards.
So if you don't know, these are patient information boards that are pretty common to see around hospital rooms. And it has a lot of information regarding their first and last name, their preferred language, any DME they might have. And it's just to show like the practitioners who come in, who your care team is and stuff like that. And we wanted to give the next cohort a chance to kind of experience these things within the classroom and see it firsthand before they go into the clinic. So we've just designed a small little board to give to the next class.
Thank you, class of 2023. These will be put to good use by Dr. Geller. So I would need to ask the faculty now to leave the stage because the students actually have a short video that they'd like to share with everybody. So I'm going to call up Julie Lee.
That's my roommate. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Julie. I am the third Julie to be able to grace this stage. And I'm our class historian. One of my responsibilities as historian was to create a video to showcase here at graduation. And when I learned this was a part of my job description, I really wanted to have fun with it because it's one of the last things that we can all share together. Oh my gosh. I wanted to give our friends and family a window into the friendships we've made, the trust that we've built in each other, and the very real, authentic, genuine, unscripted, not staged at all, environment that we have lived and learned in for the past 2 years. So that being said, thank you to all of my unpaid cast members who indulged me, and let me pull you aside to record silly little clips for a silly little video that you're about to see for the first time right now. I hope you all enjoy watching it as much as I had so much fun creating it. So without further ado, I present to you the season premiere and finale of The Real OTs of New York City.
Questions or concerns?
I got something to say. Listen, someone in this room, a room full of people that I trusted, stole my goniometer. Who did it? I think my goniometer's in there.
I heard that Jack never even had a goniometer.
Literally, who would bring his goniometer here? Why?
Did Jack even look in his backpack?
He's looking for what?
A goniometer.
What's a goniometer?
Ever since Jack made that announcement, everyone's been so weird today.
I've been pretty suspicious of Kevin lately.
To be honest, you guys, I don't trust Coriolan.
I heard Ayala did it.
Wait, what did Olivia say about me?
Don't worry, I know it wasn't you. It was me.
What?
Yeah, she's from Nebraska. I can say that because I'm from Indiana.
Did you hear Christina thinks you stole the goniometer?
What? Are you kidding me? Well, she probably just said that because she's literally obsessed with Nebraska. What's going on?
Hey, Jack, so
we just want to, maintain the peace and ease some tension.
I'm just upset. Someone stole my goniometer. What did I do to them?
That's understandable. Well, as we've learned in our classes, there are a lot of coping strategies we can use to help with those feelings. Why don't we think of some positive memories?
We can do that. I like that. Maybe I do like these people. You always buy a new goniometer, but you can't buy new friends.
That's so true. Okay, let's go graduate.
That was wonderful. As you can see, they are true OTs. They know how to balance work and play. Before we start with our awards ceremony, we have a very special guest joining us who would like to give greetings to you. I'm very happy to introduce Dr. Katrina Armstrong, Harold and Margaret Hatch Professor in the Faculty of Medicine, Executive Vice President for Health and Biomedical Sciences, Dean of the Faculties of Health Sciences and the Vagelos College of Physicians and Surgeons, and Chief Executive Officer of Columbia University Irving Medical Center. Welcome, Dr. Armstrong.
Wow, I just keep inviting myself to these things because it is the best. Getting to see the graduates as you guys complete this, getting to see your videos and how happy you were every day along the way. And honestly, getting to see the families is just the best because for whatever you guys are feeling, they are twice as happy, I promise. They are twice as happy. My youngest is graduating from college this Sunday, and I cannot tell you, she's totally stressed out, and I could not be happier. So it is just the best. So Dr. Stein, Dr. Nilsson, Dr. Hildebrand, the faculty, graduates, your families and friends, congratulations. I am so delighted to be able to add my congratulations to everyone who's here today. I also want to welcome you all as you graduate to the healthcare team. You know, we say this, but I will tell you, I live it every day. The importance of healthcare as a team sport is fundamental to who we are here at Columbia. It's fundamental to the future. For us to come together from different backgrounds, different levels of perspective and expertise, different education, and be able to provide the comprehensive care that a patient needs is not just our aspirational goal, but it is the daily practice here. It is what we believe in and what we do every day. And of course, we're here celebrating the fact that you are joining that team. And I think moving to the phase where you get a paycheck as a part of that team, which is definitely the best phase of being on that team, I will tell you. So it is also, though, I will tell you, the truth to this is, yes, you're making a transition, but what we hope is that this is a transition, not from a time where you stop learning to the time where you start practicing, but to a time where you fully embrace the beauty of the fact that these professions, the health professions, as stressful as they can sometimes be, and it's great you guys have the strategies for managing all that stress, but as stressful as they can be, the beauty of them is that they are fundamentally professions that commit to lifelong learning. They're a profession where we recognize that even when we join it at this moment of graduation, that in a year, in 5 years, as you guys move forward in your career, what you will learn, what you will bring, what we will all be able to do will just continue to transform. When I sat, not exactly in your shoes, but in similar shoes, 30-some years ago, we had nothing compared to what we do now in the hospital and our practices to offer our patients and our communities. So as I congratulate you, I also want to ask you, yes, this is a moment of transition, but please don't forget that the learning that you started here in this field should continue with you forever. It will bring you joy, it will bring you meaning, and it will make sure that you do your very best for our patients and the people who we serve. So congratulations, and thank you so much for letting me come crash your party, Doc.
You can crash our party anytime. Each year, the faculty recognize the achievements of students that have excelled in specific areas of study. We will begin our award ceremony with the Dr. Robert Evander Achievement Award for Excellence in Science. This award is presented to a student who achieved academic excellence in the Science Foundation courses and also gave of their time and talent to serve others by serving as a teaching assistant and peer tutor for the Science Foundation courses. I'm very pleased to announce that this year's award recipient is Megan Sofield.
The Emily Raphael Greenfield Achievement Award for Excellence in Mental Health is awarded to a graduate who has demonstrated excellence in coursework and fieldwork in behavioral health. This year's recipient was also an awardee of the Bewitt HRSA grant, under which he learned about conducting research, taught, and provided interprofessional trauma-informed care and treatment to underserved populations throughout New York City. We are proud to present this award to Timothy Kenny.
The G. Gordon Williamson Award of Excellence in Pediatrics is awarded to a student who demonstrates excellence in pediatric-related content coursework, research opportunities, and shows a commitment to improving the lives of children and adolescents with families with disabilities. The student who is receiving this year's Pediatric Award has demonstrated excellent research skills, flexibility and compassion during pediatric clinical experiences, and commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion in the program and in the profession. It is my honor to announce the recipient of the 2023 G. Gordon Williamson Award to Amy Lopez.
Okay. Andy Rooney once said, "The best classroom is at the feet of an elderly person." This student truly embodies and understands what this statement is all about and excelled in their academic and clinical work with older adults in the past year. This student's passion and genuine interest in older adults' stories over the past year have touched the hearts of many. They have taken the extra steps to engage with the older adult community surrounding Columbia University, providing individuals with not only environmental adaptation recommendations, but also social engagement opportunities. The student supervisors at the fieldwork sites spoke so highly of them and stated, "We're sad to see them go." The Patricia A. Miller Award for Excellence in Gerontology is awarded to Olivia Miller.
Hello, everyone. Congratulations, class of 2023. The Marguerite Abbott, a past faculty member, specialized in physical disabilities, and upon her death, her friends and family established the Marguerite Abbott Memorial Award for Excellence in Physical Disabilities. This year's recipient had excellent grades in both Physical Disabilities 1 and 2. This student asked many thoughtful and insightful questions in class, which I have to admit kept me on my toes, and always participated in class discussions. The student excelled in their level 1 fieldwork placement and had excellent reasoning, problem-solving, and observation skills, was professional, responsible, dependable, and always prepared for fieldwork experience. The student also volunteered to be trained as an assessor for a colleague's dissertation regarding stroke rehabilitation. It has been a pleasure having the student in class. This year's Marguerite Abbott Award goes to Kevin Carroll.
Hello again. The Stephen Katz Memorial Award for Clinical Excellence was established in 1996 by a student from that same class and her family in memory of her brother. Throughout his everyday life, Stephen Katz demonstrated those characteristics that are fundamental to clinical excellence: empathy, respect, creativity, and courage. This award honors the student who throughout one's clinical experience has shown those same characteristics. The 2023 Stephen Katz Award for Clinical Excellence goes to Christina Gustatus.
Hello, everyone. Congratulations, class of 2023. It is my great privilege to present today the Joan Boswa Memorial Award for leadership, creativity, and integrity that was voted by both students and faculty. John Boswa enrolled at Columbia University as an occupational therapy student in September 1983. On June 12, 1986, after a heroic and gracious struggle with cancer, John died peacefully in her home. John's presence as a student left an indelible impression on all who studied and worked with her. As a living tribute to Joan, the faculty and her friends established the John Boswa Memorial Fund, from which an award is made annually to recognize an occupational therapy student who, in the opinion of her peers and her faculty, has been outstanding in creativity, leadership, and integrity. It is my great honor and privilege today to present this year's John Boswa Memorial Award to a student who has demonstrated high work ethic in research, clinical affiliations, and in the classroom. She was a leader and supporter of all equity and justice initiatives. Her advocacy for her classmates and peers is recognizable by all. She was phenomenal professionally as a citizen in the classroom and in the clinic. She was selected to participate in a training program for the trauma-informed care at the BWIT grant, and she distinguished herself with outstanding performance, creativity, and integrity. This year's John Boswa Memorial Award goes to Monica Marpedonia.
We will now present the graduates of our entry-level Masters of Science program. I would like to ask Dr. Hamed to the podium to read the names, and Dr. Norwig and Dr. Mendonça to assist with the pins.
Hello, everyone. Okay, ready? Okay. Sara Melissa Asprija. John Battle. Lauren Blair Brown. Corialyn Campbell. Olivia Karen. Kevin Carroll. Sophia Clark. Simone Bella D'Antuono. Hannah Davis. Hoseina De Leon. Lena Eisenstein. Alma Everett. Rory Gallagher. Elizabeth Gdansky. Olivia Josephine Giuliano. Christina Gostaitis. Nisha Iyer. Timothy Kenny. Jane Doyon Kim. Juan Kim. Julianne Tao Lei. Amy Lopez. Mayan Malamet. Monica Manfredonia. Jessica Matadiahu. Olivia Miller. Lauren Grace Mitchell. Rose Olivia Molehi. Sophia Rose Norris. Azmina Panjwani. Haley Sohyun Park. Gabrielle Todd Parrish. Brittany June Poley. Nicole Panella. Ginger Pojednik.
What's the film score?
Millie Raj. Elizabeth Riley. Vanessa Rivera. Lauren Rubin. Taylor Sanchez. Shannon Shears. Ayelet Morit Singer. Megan Catherine Sofield. Jasmine Melissa Tomlinson. Allison E. Ying Tong. Rose Trin. Megan Campbell Wells. Gloriana Wilson. Cece Chen-Wen Shu. Carmen Haiming Young. Brittany Yu. Michaela Zavalia. Congratulations, everyone.
As director of the post-professional programs in occupational therapy, I have seen the following doctoral students grow into leaders, expert practitioners, and agents of change in our profession. Dear colleagues, friends, family, and guests, it's my honor and privilege today to present candidates for the Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree. These students are advancing the profession through cutting-edge program development, intervention implementation, and assessment development while working full-time. Students will be hooded by their doctoral mentors, and I will read the title of their capstone projects. The following graduates completed the requirements of the Post-Professional Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree as of February 2023. Assessing written expression participation in adolescent clients to facilitate the matching of assistive technology. To be hooded by me, Dr. Rochelle Mendonça, I present Dr. Van Allen Lemon. The content validity study of the Functional Cognition Index in instrumental activities of daily living as a screening tool for mild cognitive impairment. To be hooded by Dr. Phyllis Simon, I present Dr. Namrata Sadarangani. The following graduate completed their requirements of the Post-Professional Doctor of Occupational Therapy as of May 2023. Exploring the validity of the FAQ self-care assessment and the content of the Family Goals program to enable families of neurodiverse children on the autism spectrum to improve their engagement in self-care. To be hooded again by me, I present Dr. Valencia Renee Steele. The following graduate will complete the requirements of their Post-Professional Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree this August 2023. The development, content validity, and clinical utility of the mealtime screening for schools, assessing mealtime participation in school-aged children. To be hooded by Dr. Julia Guzman, I present Dr. Karen Howarth. The following graduates will be completing the requirements of the Accelerated Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree this August 2023. Development and implementation of a module within occupational therapy student pediatric curriculum to increase awareness, knowledge, and skills on promoting culturally effective care for Hispanic families. To be hooded by Dr. Tyra Banks, I present Dr. Chloe Karamis. exercise strategies to motivate and relieve stress emotions in adults with chronic cardiopulmonary conditions. To be hooded by Dr. Anna Norweg, I present Dr. Mallory Moore. Our last but not least graduate completed the requirements of their post-professional Doctor of Occupational Therapy degree as of May 2023. The development and validation of the client agency and self-determination evaluation. Mentored by me, to be hooded by Dr. Ademola Sholaru, I present Dr. Adeola Sholaru. Congratulations, class of 2023.
So as you can see, we have much to celebrate today, but I also want to point out that there's much work to be done. Today is just the beginning. Graduates, as you leave Columbia, we call upon all of you to be agents of change, to help those you serve to live life to its fullest, and to be strong advocates for occupational justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is you that will move the occupational therapy profession forward. And as you do so, never forget your home here at CUOT. Remember, act with urgency. Again, congratulations to all of you. We look forward to celebrating with you and your invited guests at the reception at 50 Haven. Please remain in your seats. The faculty will exit, followed by the graduates, and then the guests. Thank you all.
Gypsy cat takes me down from looking pretty. No place in the world that can compare. Put your lighters in the air.